vomit-inducing, toilet explosion, tripe, filth, mud, worthless, blunt, stupid, toilet explosion? This one guy said he left the theater with cerebral palsy, and he didn't have it when he went in. Oh my god. These are just a few examples of all of the things, all of the things
that people have said
in their reviews of the various Transformers movies. Let's take a look. Let's do Rise of the Beast first. A movie that I really liked. I would give that maybe like an 8 out of 10. I don't know. What would you give it? So the first Rise of the Beast review that I laid eyes on was this from Inverse.com. A kind of ironic name given that everything in this article is pretty much the inverse of what I thought.
These guys have taken the hyperbole to the max, titling their article Worst Sci-Fi Reboot of the Year. They say this movie proves the franchise is running on empty, and generally that the movie itself is just dull white noise.
What makes someone a top critic on Rotten Tomatoes? Is it like a master's in media studies? Did they sit around watching movies for an extra 4 years? But anyway, the top critics give it 32%. Clarice here reckons there's not a morsel of joy to be found in the movie. Not a morsel, tidbit, or shard, Clarice. Clarice! Ah, Clarice and her search for joy. I hope you find joy, Clarice. Little life or heart compared to its predecessors. Infantile dialogue. I didn't see any you gotta put the transwarp key in the otherwise scared. Noisy, overblown mess. This one from Bleeding Cool says that better than most of the Bay films, but a step back from Bumblebee. Yeah, that's a reasonable opinion, in my view.
Pointless.
Excruciatingly lame. Optimus is a huge jerk and the action is trash.
But hold up. Let's try and understand that last one. I guess he's saying that Optimus is a jerk because Optimus didn't want to destroy the transwarp key because it's the only thing that would get the Autobots home. But there is this one annoying bit though, when Noah is about to destroy the transwarp key and nullify the whole threat, but Prime persuades him not to. So Noah's like, alright, okay, but this better not fall into the hands of the Terracons. And then the very next fucking scene, it falls into the hands of the Terracons. But what I'm trying to say is that I don't think that made Optimus a douchebag, do you? It's written in there that he felt guilty for the Autobots being marooned on Earth for the last 7 years. So whilst classic Prime might have prioritized safeguarding humanity, this guy at least tries to get his family home. I was alright with that. Predictable return to rock'em sock'em stupidity.
Oh, my block is knocked off.
With nothing to add, except Michelle Yeoh as a talking aluminium falcon. Noisy, nonsensical insistence that submission to sensory overload should outrank any other storytelling consideration. Maybe dealing with a failed writer here. The audience reviews are much kinder, loads of positive stuff. Still a few ouchies in there like forced, abrupt, and cheeky. Ooh, cheeky. This guy gave it 1 star because I didn't enjoy the movie. Someone take one of my sit. Someone took his sit and refused to move. Nobody at the movie theater helped me with that. I even get out early. I didn't see the movie. He's not reviewing the movie, he's reviewing his life. I think this guy should review his whole evening. Like, then when I left the theater, I saw a homeless man taking poo and that put me off my dinner. I then phoned mum. She was in bad mood, so that put me in bad mood.
Smiled at girl on train, not smile back.
There was quite a few that seemed to be angry there weren't more robots and that the emphasis was on the human characters.
Classic criticism.
And also, quite a few didn't like what they call like emo Prime. And yeah, Prime wasn't God in this movie. And honestly, I'm still kind of making up my mind how I felt about that. Yeah, I mean, browsing through there are way more good reviews than bad. 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars. Like the storyline, but bad acting. Oh, okay. Entertaining, not great, but worth the watch. Fair enough. Not my cup of tea this time. Fair enough.
This person gave it 1 star because they were frustrated that in the last movie, Unicron was inside the Earth. And they were kind of annoyed that there was no little explanation given from how he went from this in Rise of the Beast to this in Last Night. The simple explanation was that this is a reboot and they've scrapped all the Bayformers stuff. Let's start again! Or it could be that it does connect, and we will get an explanation just further down the line.
Another 1-star review with absolutely no bearing on the movie at all. It was dumb because you have to have an ID and be over 17. That is stupid. I mean, that is stupid. 17? But does that make it a crap movie? The one that went in the hardest that I could find was this guy who described it as metaphorical rug burn on your eyes for 2 hours straight, as opposed to real rug burn on your eyes, I guess. He loved the soundtrack though, but thought the rest of it was like someone took a dump on the screen and wanted to laugh at audiences to pay for watching it. Wow, he really didn't like it. I would love to know what it was that you were expecting. My favorite review was this though. No rat trap, no stars, motherfucker. Half a star he's given it. And whilst I do sympathize, honestly, I didn't miss him in this movie. There was no one point I thought, this scene needs more sass and rat trap. Another guy gives half a star because we didn't see Megatron. I don't know. Would you mark it down because Megatron wasn't in it? I don't think I would hold that against this movie, would you? 1 star because when are you guys going to learn we don't care about the human characters? It's not compelling at all. 4 out of 5 stars. The only problem I had was that Wheeljack was a useless character and Rhinox and Cheetor got nothing to do. Other than that, it was an amazing movie. And that ending, pretty much agree with everything there. I was a little bit annoyed that we didn't even get to see Rhinox's face properly. Like, just one close-up would have been good. Did we get to hear his voice? Apart from the rhino yelling.
Or when we just want to see.
I decided to take my children in memory of their dad. He loved Transformers. R.I.P. MC. MC, whoever you are, hope you're watching Rise of the Beasts in heaven, my bro. So there you have it. Overwhelmingly positive for Rise of the Beasts. It's like a tide of positive reviews. That might change. You know, it only came out in cinemas, I think, on Friday. I'm recording this on Saturday. So, you know, these audience reviews might change over time. It's generally the hardcore fans that go and see it like on opening day. So there will probably be a drop off, but nowhere near down to like the 32% that the critics have given it. I mean, that is crazy. And the critics loved Bumblebee, you know, they ranked it higher than the audience score. Anyway, I didn't want to just talk about Rise of the Beasts in this video. I wanted to talk about the other Transformers movies too. So let's go back to Transformers 86. People were obviously not ready for this movie. They were not kind. And some of them are just batshit. The LA Times for some reason compared it to Snow White, saying that the evil queen was a good bad guy because you understood what she was doing, whereas Unicron had no motivation for his actions. Did you not see his fucking ring lighting up? He does it to light up his ring. No, of course he does it to fuel himself, but my point is that comparing it to a movie from 1938 shows just how disconnected the reviewer is from the audience. The Montreal Gazette pretty much said that they gagged on the sentimentality during Optimus's death scene, referring to him as a failing hunk of Autobot metal, showing again that they had no idea how much this character meant to, like, a lot of people. They also call it violent, loud, really commercial, profane, heavy-handed in its religious messages, humorless. And the only good thing about it was the appropriately titled song, Dare to be Stupid. So another veiled insult there. Pillar of the movie industry Variety predicted that even the fans would find it unintelligible, predictable, and unoriginal. And loud. They did correctly predict that it would bomb at the box office. It didn't bomb, it just didn't do very well. Leonard Martin said it was obnoxious, loud, and just a long toy commercial. So is all of Transformers, when are they going to get over? Someone at the Toledo Blade said that everything was poorly drawn, they couldn't tell which bot was which, and they generally didn't have a fucking clue what was going on. She even admitted that she stopped watching the movie properly 20 minutes in, and just started to count how many ideas were ripped off from Star Wars. And there are a few, you know, there's a lightsaber in there, RC has layer buns.
It's even set in space.
Rotten Tomatoes said it was a surprisingly dark, emotional, and almost excessively cynical experience for Transformers fans. Cynical? How cynical? I'm guessing that's to do with the common complaint that they killed off a load of characters, which was seen as an attempt to sell more toys. Another common complaint that I've seen is that people didn't like the music, which is very much a subjective thing. Like, I can imagine that somebody might like Transformers, but doesn't like Van Halen, so finds that kind of a turnoff. But then the original trailer for this sold it as a spacefaring rock and roll adventure, so it was kind of on the tin. A lot of reviewers complained about the fact that Unicron just appeared, that he had no prior backstory or motivation, but, you know, I don't know. To me, that's not a complaint at all. If aliens were to just appear in the sky tomorrow, you wouldn't know the fucking history, would you? The fact that he just breezes in between those two stars makes him all the more mysterious and makes you wonder, well, you know, if he's out there, what else could be out there? Scanning through the Rotten Tomatoes reviews, people seem to love the inclusion of Dare to be Stupid, and a lot of people gave it 1 star because they killed off a lot of the original cast in that opening battle. This guy prefers to listen to Billy Ray Cyrus than listen to the Transformers soundtrack. I think that might be sarcasm, although you never know. You know, maybe it's just a statement, like, I actually prefer Billy Ray Cyrus. Wow, this guy just hates the 80s. Listen to this. This movie was garbage when it came out in the 80s, and it's garbage now. People who watch Transformers and My Little Pony now are people who didn't live through the 80s and wish that they could have. Let's talk about the 80s. The 80s was a time when nearly 60% of America snorted cocaine on a daily basis. The other half was drunk. Transformers was a steaming pile, and Optimus always saying, "Let's roll out," got annoying. G.I.Joe, another pile of crap. Who can shoot all the bullets in every clip they have on them and never hit anyone? Transformers was crap then, and it's an even bigger load now. And he finishes with the best bit. Go ask your parents if they ate paint chips as a child if they liked the Transformers. Chances are that they did, and they're the reason that people can't have lead-based paint on their houses now. Let's just process that for a sec. Fucking hell. They're the reason people can't have lead-based paint on their houses now. Basically, his rant is about the 80s more than Transformers, I feel. I feel like, yeah, I don't know. Did something bad happen to you in the 80s? This guy calls it pure dreck. This one says it's exploiting children. This one says it killed his childhood. This guy was frustrated because he was a new fan and it didn't take the time to explain who all the characters were, so a newcomer couldn't get into it, including people forgetting how violent it was and then showing it to their 5-year-olds. Okay, moving swiftly onwards, let's do Transformers 2007, which again, I really liked. Let's of course expect loads of people hating the bot design, Michael Bay's shaky cams, and the constant,
were you masturbating?
we don't want no human
You
characters.
can call it Sam's happy time.
First one that caught my eye, disgustingly bloated and self-indulgent piece of crap. He says that all of the bots looked alike, dialogue good enough for fan fiction, but he did like Sam Witwicky, who apparently brought a credible gee-whiz performance to the film. Gee-whiz performance. Fine, but overall, really bad as a film and a god-awful embarrassment to the franchise. I'll admit that his review does have some really good points, but when he goes for the jugular, he really goes for it. Wow, this one. Tripe, filth, mud, worthless, blunt, stupid, and then goes on to describe anyone who liked it as a poor sap who can't see through the filth and whom he pities. The anger. I'm offended, you know. I like that movie. I like that movie a lot. So, if that's what the reviews for 2007 were like, imagine what they're going to be like for Revenge of the Fallen. Imagine what they're going to be like for The Last Night.
Tomatoes has it even lower than I thought. 20% critic score. Whew. I mean, I was expecting bad, but wow. You know what? Just in the interest of being balanced, let me just say that there are quite a few people that did like this movie. A lot of 5-star reviews as well. Some people even calling it the best film they've ever seen in their life. Right.
This next one isn't one of those.
Malignant, vicious, repugnant, vile, life-sapping, soul-searching, painful, barbaric, nauseous, willfully rude, and atrocious. Blockbuster vomit of a sickening variety. Steaming dung heap of a movie. The only thing I might possibly hate even more than this is a Transformers film starring Mark Wahlberg. Oh, wait a minute. Hot Garage. Ah, okay. Think he means garbage. Toilet explosion. This guy contemplated suicide because of this movie. Transformers 2 may have made me a misanthrope. Just give me 1 second. Having or showing a dislike of other people, comma, unsociable.
I feel smarter already.
The pain, the pain. All right, you guys get the gist. Like I said before, I'm not personally saying the movie is amazing or shit either way. I'm just here highlighting the most extreme reviews. If you like this movie and everybody else didn't, them. We each choose what we like, right? All right, so that's 4 of the movies covered. I might do the next 4 or 5 in a later video. And trust me, the reviews only get more extreme from here. Like, here's a good example of some guy reviewing The Last Night, right? He says, 10 out of 10, amazing. It's so bad, it's good. Best movie 2017. Would not ever see again. Girl is annoying and ugly and Liam is a weebo. If I would see this movie again, I would kill myself. It's that good. Dab. Dab, 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 dab. Dab, 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 dab. Okay. And that's the least of it. But let's see how this video does and maybe I'll do one for the next 4 movies. I'm in the middle of 2 pretty long videos at the moment, so if this one doesn't do that well, maybe I'll just leave it for further down the line. Either way, thank you very much for watching and I will see you very soon for the next one. Cheerio, bye.